All right, recording. All right, peace, everybody. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the big homie Zeno for alerting me to the fact that the New York Times was actually appropriating some of my artwork. So for those who don't know, this summer during the pandemic, I have been doing a research project on blackface where I compiled basically most of the blackface that's out there in the color TV era. Yeah, I compiled it all into one format, and the New York Times actually kind of bit that format and did a whole article on that without, contacting me or giving me any credit or anything like that. But yeah, so Zaino, I just want to send a big shout out for alerting me to the fact about this article. My wife actually alerted me about the article too. So on the 5th of September, I actually released the blackface chart as a video to the public. Right. And, so this is like a blackface chart that has over 100 celebrities on the chart that are basically that wore blackface over the past, 100 years. And so this is just like the first installation of a series of charts. I'm going to do the black and white era next. But yeah, so this article was by a sister named Aisha Harris. And we're going to look at that article today, and we're going to compare my blackface chart and then the new New York Times kind of appropriation of my work. So we're about to pull that up. So I'm going to flip that around. All right. Let me flip this thing around. All right. Boom. All right. So here's the author of the article. So, you can see like the article, usually, websites, they're basically, using just a general scroll down, white background, things like that, right? So this is the blackface chart that I did, right? This is my chart. You see it's a scrollable thing, right? It's like this. I made it so black background, white text. You can see the blackface of all the people lined up, right? So this is a table of racist celebrities and public figures. And so there's all different types of people from all eras. And then it also has their net worth. So you can see, how much these people made. And everybody on this chart is pretty much multimillionaires. Almost everybody in the chart's a multimillionaire. But let's go to the New York Times article. So this is how the New York Times article starts. If you go to the top, it starts out same type of setup, black background, right? And then they drop a bunch of different blackface things. Let me zoom out because I'm zoomed in right now. Let me see. Let me zoom out. Zoom out. Yes, because when you zoom out, you can see it better. You can see how they're copying, right? So I'm zoomed out, right? You see that? And so this came out on September 5th. This came out on about September 25th. Let me see. Right here it says September. Yep. September 25th. And actually, this one actually might have come out on September 4th. Actually, I think I released it on September 4th or September 5th. Right. But you can see it's very, very similar. It's like, yeah, we got this here. We got the, I guess that's Jimmy Fallon. Right. We got the Jimmy Fallon up there. All the same things are featured on here. Right. But they don't, they fail to leave out a lot of stuff. But the thing is with this chart, they start out with this whole article. They start out with like making it seem like Spike Lee, is part of it or something, even though he was commenting on it and critiquing the history of it. They make it seem like, he's doing it too. Like, hey, black artists, they're kind of minimizing the damage, right? They're not putting the names of these people. They're just putting the shows. Like they're not putting Jack Black. They're just putting Be Kind, Rewind, right? You know what I'm saying? And they're not, then they're adding Dear White People, which is they're adding stuff that's not even blackface in it. They're just wearing a mask of Obama, and this is a show, So you can see that the, New York Times is kind of trying to limit the damage, right? Like I was saying before, damage control, right? Like they don't even say David Cross, right? But if you go to my chart, you can see right here. Let me see. I think David Cross is towards the end. I remember him doing, David Cross. I remember doing that towards the end, right? We got David Cross right there. Net worth, 12 million, right? Similar net worth to a lot of other people in this chart. But yeah, so you see they got all these people in here. They got, I guess that's Jimmy Kimmel. No, that's Jimmy Fallon, I get the two Jimmys mixed up, but that's Jimmy Fallon. And you see they don't even have his name on there, right? So now we're just going to go real quick to the New York Times, right? Let's see. There we go. It's one of these. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, if you go back, you know, the New York Times started about in the about 160, over 160 years ago, right? So, you know, they were around during slavery, you know, and it was not anti-slavery. So, you know, they've been complicit all these years. Let me go back to the actual article, but let me see. Yeah, this is the actual article. So yeah, this is the sister that wrote it, Aisha Harris. I'm just gonna look at this real quick. All right. So this is like a normal format right here. But yeah, I'm just pointing out that, you know, they obviously, it happened 20 days later. So yeah, this happened 20 days later. It looks very, very similar, right? You can see the striking similarities. But yeah, that's all I wanted to point out. But let me type New York Times. Let's see. I'm gonna type New York. Let me type New York Times. New York Times wiki. I'm gonna type the wiki. So New York Times wiki. Right, here's the Wikipedia. I had it loaded up. I don't know what I did with it. So I was just trying to find it. But we're gonna go back to when it started. So let's click on the origins. Right. So we can see we shall be conservative in all cases where we think that conservatism is essential to the public good, and we shall be radical in everything which may seem to us to require radical treatment and radical reform. We do not believe that everything in society is either exactly right or exactly wrong. What is good, we desire to preserve and improve. What is evil, to exterminate or reform. So when this came out in 1850, the New York Times, they weren't anti-slavery. They weren't like an abolitionist type of periodical, right? So they were pro-slavery, right? And this is actually the first. This is all I wanted to show you. That this is actually the first New York Times. It was actually 1 cent back in the day, right? Okay, but yeah, that's all I wanted to show y'all is that, you know, they clearly were biting my chart, right? This is totally biting it, right? Black background and a matrix of scroll down blackface tiles, right? And 20 days later, it'd be different if this was like 2 years ago or 2 years later, but 20 days later, that's kind of suspect, right? 20 days later, they come out with something that looks just like my chart. So for all my students who are already familiar with my chart that I dropped, this is like New York Times is kind of watering down of it, right? They took out a bunch of tiles and have them pop up and appear, and then they add, stuff that's not even blackface in it, right? That's how you water down something. All right, so that's it. That was a quick lecture. All right, peace. All right.